It's usually late at night when you notice it the most. The FPS counter looks fine, but the game feels wrong. You move the mouse and it's smooth, then a tiny hitch. You turn a corner and it's smooth, then another hitch. You start blaming your GPU, then your drivers, then your whole life. But what you're actually feeling is frame time spikes. And here's the annoying truth. A lot of frame time spikes are not your GPU is weak. They're your PC getting interrupted by background Windows stuff that you never asked for. So in this video, I'm giving you a clean, repeatable way to fix frame time spikes without turning your PC into a tweak circus. We'll do 9 Windows tweaks. Each one has a purpose. You can skip any step, but you must test after each change, or you'll never know what helped. Before we touch anything, confirm its frame times. If you have an overlay that shows frame time, turn it on. If you don't, you can still spot it. Average FPS looks solid, but motion has random micro hitches, especially when loading new areas, opening menus, or when a fight gets chaotic. That is the frame time graph spiking, even if the FPS number stays high. Now, rule number 1. Don't change 9 things at once and pray. We're going to do one change, test the same scene, then move on. Same map, same settings, same time of day if possible. Keep it boring. Boring testing gives you real answers. All right, here are the 9 Windows fixes. 1. Stop Windows search indexing your game drives. Search indexing is the quiet disk bully. It's fine for documents. It's terrible for game folders that change constantly with updates, shader caches, and new installs. Go to Indexing Options, choose Modify, and exclude your Steam library, Epic Library, Xbox game folders, and any big clips folder you record into. If you want a hard-proof test, stop the Windows search service for one gaming session. If stutter drops immediately, you found a real culprit. You can keep search on later and just keep the exclusions. 2. Kill delivery optimization. This is Windows being helpful by sharing updates with other PCs. Great for Microsoft, not great for your frame times. Go to Settings, Windows Update, Advanced Options, Delivery Optimization, and turn it off. If you're on a limited or unstable network, this one matters even more because background uploading and downloading can create CPU spikes and disk spikes at the same time. 3. Control OneDrive and background syncing. Knee drive is the king of it. Was fine until it wasn't. It can decide to sync a big folder right when you launch a game, or it can keep touching files while you record clips. If you use OneDrive, pause syncing before gaming. If you don't use OneDrive, disable it from startup. This is not anti-cloud. It's anti-random background work during gameplay. 4. Turn off background capture you don't use. Windows Game Bar and other capture tools can run background recording modes. That can add overhead and create small spikes, especially on CPUs that are already busy. Go to Settings, Gaming, Captures, and turn off Record in the background if you don't need it. If you do record, use one tool only. 2 capture tools fighting each other is a stutter factory. 5. Use the right power mode for the session. Balanced power modes are designed to save energy, not to keep frame time smooth. On some systems, the CPU downclocks hard, then boosts back up, and you feel that as inconsistent frame delivery. For your gaming session, switch to best performance. On desktops, use a performance plan. On laptops, use the vendor performance mode if you have it. Then when you're done gaming, switch back to balance. You don't need to live in max power all day. 6. Toggle hardware accelerate GPU scheduling. only if you have spikes. This setting is not a universal on is good or off is good. On some PCs it helps. On others it adds weird spikes. The right method is simple. Toggle it, reboot, and test the same scene again. If frame times improve, keep it. If it gets worse, turn it back on and move on. Do not debate it on the internet. Let your PC vote. 7. Clean up startup apps and background junk. This is the boring one that works. Open Task Manager, startup apps, and disable anything you don't need running while you game. Launchers, updaters, RGB software you never touch. Chat apps you can open manually. The goal is not minimalist lifestyle. The goal is fewer background interrupts. Also check overlays. Overlays are convenient, but too many overlays can turn into micro-stutter. Keep 1, not 5. 8. Keep your storage healthy. Game stream data constantly. If your SSD is near full, Windows has less room for catching and housekeeping, and hitching becomes more common. Keep at least 15 to 20% free space on your game drive. Also check that your SSD isn't overheating and throttling. Some NVMe drives slow down hard when hot, and that creates random hitching you can't explain. If you're still gaming on HDD, you can still play, but accept reality. HDD plus modern open world titles equals hitching. An SSD upgrade is one of the biggest feel upgrades you can make. 9. Cap your FPS on purpose. This is the cheat code most people refuse to use because their ego loves big FPS numbers. But a stable 120 with flat frame times feels better than a spiky 160. Cap your FPS slightly below your typical average so the GPU stops bouncing between load states. That reduces heat, reduces noise, and reduces frame time spikes. If you have a 144 Hz monitor and your average is around 140, but it spikes and dips, try capping at 120 or 130. Test and feel it. Your eyes will tell you the truth. Now after you apply these 9, retest the same map, same run, same benchmark. If stutter is significantly reduced, congratulations. You just remove background punches. If stutter is still there, do not keep stacking Windows tweaks. At that point, the suspects change. Then you look at RAM configuration, like single-stick memory or wrong profiles. You look at CPU bottlenecks where GPU usage isn't staying high. You look at driver issues or a bad overclock or unstable undervolt. But you stop blaming Windows magic, and you start testing the real limits. Quick recap in one breath. Exclude game folders from indexing, turn off delivery optimization, control OneDrive syncing, disable background capture you don't use, set a performance power mode for gaming, test HAGs properly, clean startup junk, keep SSD free space and tongue under control, and cap FPS for stability. That's how you turn a high FPS but feels bad PC into a smooth PC. Thanks for watching. If you want more no BS fixes, follow and subscribe. And if you comment your CPU, GPU, RAM setup, and the game that stutters, I'll tell you the fastest next test order so you don't waste a weekend.